Why Everyone Hates Americans Abroad Part 2. This is a really common misconception that I didn't even think existed until I read the comments and then remembered that a lot of people don't have experience living abroad, so I can understand why you would feel this way. In European countries where when you go to learn English, they tell you, listen, either you pick an English accent or you're going to pick an American accent. Whichever one you pick, you stick with it till the end of your schooling. And for some people that are just a little bit more gifted with languages, they end up speaking the language perfectly. When I first moved to Montpellier, I met a girl and she was speaking to me English right away and I was like, oh my gosh, another American. And she's like, oh, I've never even been to the States. And I was like, your English is absolutely perfect and your American accent is better than mine. And she was like, oh, I just learned from watching cartoons. So yeah, you don't actually know where somebody is from based on their accent when speaking a foreign language. Some people pick up accents really easily, especially if they've been learning since they were a kid. And also know if the person you're speaking to has only had like basic middle school or a couple years in high school level English, they can absolutely not distinguish regional accents. Are you kidding me? I took 1 year of Spanish in high school. Can I tell the difference between Mexican Spanish and Spanish Spanish? Hell no, not at all. Not even a little bit. Would I still try to be polite if somebody was trying to speak to me in Spanish and pull out my Google Translate and try to make the best of it? Absolutely I would, but I could not tell where they were from based on their accent, unless I also speak fluently and perfectly. Heck, I've been speaking French for 10 years and I still can't even tell you some of the regional accent differences. A few, but not very many. Because it's hard to pick up the accents, especially if you've learned the language as an adult rather than learning it as a child. I'm going to have to turn this around on you and point out the fact that somebody would be so ethnocentric as to think that everyone around the world can instantly hear the difference in the accents in their native language. It's not, it's just ridiculous. It's not practical and it's also very, very false. Again, there's a lot of nuance. Maybe the person is from a different country, but they can speak English with a perfect English accent despite having never been to England. Or maybe they barely speak English, they don't really give a fuck, and they are not paying attention to different accents because it's just not a priority. They hear English, the person's being rude, and they're like, well, Americans are rude, so must be an American.